Welcome back to Bratz Spot, where we're going to connect the circuits on some of these things in the 20s.
Don't be alarmed. I need you to stay calm.
We're here today to talk about Borderlands.
You'll be greeted by a funny little robot.
Nope, not that Borderlands.
So, you want to hear another story, huh? One where the very fate of...
Nope, not that Borderlands.
Sorry. We ran out of wine and potable water a few days ago, and all we have left are the fountains.
We're going to talk about Borderlands 4, the newest installment of the series. The previous ones are great, and just to give you a quick rundown of where I'm at on it, I didn't like Borderlands initially. I didn't make it past the cell shading. Years later, great reviews. Like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. Gave it a shot. Played Borderlands 2 and just fell in love. The content, the way it felt so personal to you. Like, you have this voice in your head and this chick, and she's telling you what to do and looting these vaults. A great time. Great time with friends. Borderlands 2 was phenomenal. A great entry to the series for anybody.
Roll for initiative, sucker!
Borderlands 1, went back, played that. Also, basically a classic at this point. Some of the Halloween themes they had in that game were unforgettable. Borderlands did a couple offshoots where they were like standalone games. They had one called the Pre-Sequel where you played as
a man named Handsome Jack.
He was the villain in Borderlands 2, and he was a very charismatic guy. He was like Negan from Walking Dead. He was just a charismatic villain, and he was always there by your side. Like, you're over getting the truck working, and suddenly he chimes in on your headset and tells you like, "Hey, you suck, dude."
Lovely disaster you have here.
And that's what made Borderlands great. That was one of the aspects of it. The personalization, the way that the character felt like it was. The enemies, the friends to the character, they were close. They were part of you as the player.
Ring! You don't want to hear about that, Vault Hunter. You want to hear about loot and packs and explosions. I'm Torg, and I'm here to ask you one question and one question only. Explosions?
Get off this echo frequency, you protein-guzzling buffoon! I'm trying to convey...
They did a Tiny Tina's Alice in Wonderland adventure where I think I was like a shroom magician. Borderlands 3 came out after that. It was long awaited. It's been a number of years, like 5 years at this point. At least it felt like 5 at least. I could be wrong. Anyways, Borderlands 3, long awaited. People at work going around going because they love Torg from Borderlands 2, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna be playing Borderlands 3 after work." It was a lot of fun. Borderlands 3, it kind of lost some of the personal feeling that made Borderlands 1 and 2 so special. You don't have a person in your head talking to you anymore.
You don't have any reason to trust me, but I need you to believe that I'm here to guide you.
Or at least not the same way. You don't get a visual heads-up display of them. And I think that added a lot to the player, the value that you can extract from the game. The enemy, the same thing. They kind of chime in on your thing. They continued that. There were two main villains in Borderlands 3, and they were alright. They weren't no Handsome Jack, but they were alright. Borderlands 4... However, I've been playing through it a second time on a new character just to kind of relive a little bit of it, because honestly I'm not attached to the story anymore. This game kind of plays itself. It doesn't really punish you much. When you die, you just run back and you kill the remaining enemies. It's not that difficult. The respawns, they don't happen like other games. Now, with that said, we should talk about they added a new feature. Once you complete the game and unlock Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, upon starting a new character afterwards, You can start off the new character at level 30 with the current quest progression that I believe your character that unlocked Ultimate Vault Hunter mode had. They did another thing too, and I'm not going to slander them for this because these are actually features in a way for the casual player. They had a thing where if you join your friend online and he's further ahead in the quests than you, you can skip some quests to just play where he is. I believe you can go back to those quests later in your own save file and redo them if you skip over any of like the main story quests to play with your buddies. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually really commendable. However, the bad part becomes when Nintendo started off as a gaming company that was for the product more than anything else. They desire to make a fun product, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here, not a very flimsy one, and say most of the time they accomplish that. They make their games fun, enjoyable, and it drives the consumers to go and obtain these. Now, when Borderlands 3 fell short of like every expectation, like almost every metric, other than it had the fun gameplay of Borderlands. And then the CEO, Randy Pitchford, comes out and says, well, if you're a fan, you'll make it happen. We're going to raise the price to $70 or $80 or even $100. I forget what the hell the number was, but either way, this is eroding the trust in the community of the people who liked your product. And I don't know how you can justify it on math and with math and your numbers, your margin, your sales for the quarter. We sold this many units. Oh, well, that's not as many units as before. Yeah, but we raised the price, so we actually made more money. And I fear you're going to go the way of Nintendo, where you erode the trust of your consumer base so much that we don't want to deal with you anymore. Nintendo is very bad with legal lawfare and anal retentive, I guess, for like, hey, that's close to our IP. Let's sick the lawyers on them. Borderlands it's not about all the things that you've made it about at this point. I'm not sure if the original developers would agree with me or not, but this doesn't feel the same as what Borderlands had felt like before, when it was arguably there was more of a fun factor. Even if the graphics are prettier now, it was more functional as a fun product. Beside the point, I mean, there's so many characters throughout the series that were memorable, that you liked the characters. I mean, there was Roland and Lilith, she still makes appearances. Moxie, I mean, Claptrap, these are icons of the series. And as much as I'd like to see Handsome Jack be like a permanent character, that ship has sailed at this point. Sirens are a permanent class. Everything else seems kind of interchangeable. And Borderlands 4, the villains felt so...
May we rule forever. No! I kill you for the callous.
Forced. Some of them don't make sense in the way that they should be a villain. Like, why is this thing a villain? Okay, why do we not like him? Oh, he's this guy's henchman. Oh, well, he's a powerful henchman. It is so non-personal that you don't care anymore. And then you just hit the Z button on your keyboard and you follow the line through the entire game and probably finish it in like 80 hours. $70 game, 80 hours of time. I don't know. Let's just round down at this point and just say, like, it's $1 an hour of fun. Whereas I think a lot of users, a lot of people out there that will do the math in their head will find out, hey, I had a lot more fun with this other game that was way cheaper. Call of Duty lost me a long time ago, just because of the simple fact that they release like 2 titles a year, and it's like $50-$60 each time, and they have their console people that will always buy these, and that's fine. Good on them. Do good things with that. Don't let it spoil. Don't mistreat it. Otherwise, I mean, I think Nintendo has had their sales fall. Whether it's due to economic or political reasons, or geographical perhaps. There's no question that Nintendo has eroded the trust of their fans throughout the years. I grew up on Nintendo. I'm one of them. And I don't want to see that happen to Borderlands. However, to compare it to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, great game. But at some point, Call of Duty could have made a base game. And then all these other iterations of Black Ops 1, 2, 3, up to 7 or whatever, all the different Call of Duties that have come out since, why aren't they just DLC for a base Call of Duty game? Would that be cleaner on the programming end of things? However, I digress. I would love to see everything be like Borderlands 2, where, nope, we got this great game, and...
Saying, I've discovered that this new vault is buried in the center of a large crater, and will only open, and I quote, once the champion of Pandora feeds it the blood of the ultimate coward.
And we're just going to release a bunch of content for it. We're going to charge a little extra for the content because, hey, it's like extra levels, like the mystery, the bonus, the director cut. But it's not like that. And I fear it's not like that, not because the developers or the community want it to be like that. It's because the investors want to invest money in the company, and we need that wheel to turn for the company to continue going. And I can wrap my head around that for the most part. There is an imbalance happening, I think, with Gearbox software. And I hope I don't see layoffs there. I really do. I hope they fix these problems and make the game fun and exciting and rough around the edges again. Make it personal. Make it flooded with downloadable content so you can have endless hours of fun on it. I'm going to say this. As far as I am on my hours of Borderlands, I have the most on 2. And I have a lot on 4 at this point, just because I'm playing through a second time. And I did kind of like just farm a bunch of stuff the first character. Anyways, I wanted to originally give Borderlands 4 a huge scathing negative review, because $70 for 80 hours of gameplay seems a bit weak. And now that I don't know, I am through it. It does have the core gameplay, although it's not... My screen doesn't light up the way it used to in the other games with all the numbers everywhere. It does have the Borderlands gameplay and a couple of the characters, but I'm reluctant to call it Borderlands until it actually has things I am going to care about more and remember. Make some of these characters have sacrifices in their story. Don't make them just cookie cutter, safe. This is the DEI one here. This will be this character. Like, we're out to play something fun. We're not out to play something that is depressing. With that, I mean, Borderlands 3 was a little bit more fun, but there's no DLC really for it, and that's the most depressing part. The DLC is what made the game great. There's been so many bugs in 4 and so many crashes, and I upgraded from a i7 to an i9, and I'm still getting crashes, I believe, on the default settings. I'm going to double check. Now, one of the other things, maybe it's a design flaw. Maybe it's something that got out of Gearbox software. Maybe somebody wasn't fully aware or doing their job. Maybe there's a function to it that I'm not sure. But for some reason in BL4, you have the option from the main menu to exit to the title screen, which there's no other option there other than Alt F4 than to just go back to the main menu. Why? Why? Why is there a button in the middle of this? I don't get it. I hope you patch this out, because this is just infuriating. Or maybe leave it in because it's infuriating in a Borderlands way to be infuriating. With that said, there's really not much else to it. Lots of crashes. We're months past their release and it continues to crash. It hasn't been patched. Yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be better here. The price, for one. This doesn't need to be a $70 game. And you don't need to attack your fan base for lay it on as harsh as you do. Perhaps you don't understand the value of money or time or a game. However, I digress. I want to say this. I wanted to give this a scathing bad review. However, because the content in, I guess, one or two previous Borderlands titles, the DLC has been so great that I want to hold out, and I want to say, oh, I hope the content for Borderlands 4 is going to be amazing. Yeah, we don't know much on that, though. Well, with that, you know what, there is one other thing. What happened to all the Easter eggs? There used to be Easter eggs. I guess maybe we had like a pop culture reference. Maybe I outgrew the current stuff that's there. What was his name? It was like Dunk Watkins. You know, that's like the one reference that I kind of was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. It's like from the pre-sequel. The guy wanted to do like the world record, universal record for longest dunk. But there really isn't much. There used to be like Ninja Turtles references, like Power Rangers references, and there used to be like little hidden Easter eggs everywhere you looked. Or not everywhere you looked, but they were pretty noticeable. And I'm trying to ask myself in BL4, like, what was that replaced with? Is there anything there? I want y'all to like, subscribe, give me a comment, and until next time, keep those gears turning. Adios.